After action. This is our battle report, Western Front campaign battle number 3. It's 1,000 points. If you've been following any of the videos, we've had a couple upgrades and downgrades in some of the units based on whether they survived or died. This is my army list, 1,000 point British. Starting at the top left, I have a light howitzer. Light howitzer for the British also acts as a light anti-tank gun. I have a heavy mortar with a spotter. The howitzer also has a spotter. I have a LBT4 Buffalo. It's got a light autocannon, 2 medium machine guns, 360 degrees, 7-up armor, tracked. It is inexperienced. I have a truck. It's the 30 CTW truck. It has a heavy machine gun upgrade, which I forget about the entire battle report. It is regular. I have an A9 cruiser tank. It has 2 turret medium machine guns in the front, a coaxial medium machine gun, and a light anti-tank gun, 7-up armor. That armor car there is actually a proxy Jeep. Alan painted the Jeep, forgot to bring it up. I have another Jeep there. I have a command team, first lieutenant. I have a free artillery observer, commando team. Then I have an anti-tank rifle team, veteran from the upgrade from the scenario. I have a sniper team, regular, and then a regular infantry squad, a regular infantry squad with tough fighter upgrade, and then an inexperienced squad with tank hunters. That's the British. So for the Germans, he decided to spend his 250 point upgrade in, I think he got a sniper, and then he bought a half track, and then he decided to upgrade his pre-existing infantry squads, which I thought that was a little bit curious since they've taken some damage and rolled some negative effects, but that's what he decided to do. He put 2 light machine guns in his Waffen SS, and that's that small 6-man squad on the bottom there. So over on the left-hand side, bottom left, he's got a regular grenadier infantry squad. They have 2 Panzerfaust and a light machine gun. They are normally regular, but they are shirkers, and they're inexperienced because of the scenario or from our campaign. Right above them is another regular squad. They are shirkers for the 1 game only. Then he's got a rifle squad on the right there. And he's got 2 Panzerfaust in about all of his squads. He's got a sniper that he purchased. He has a lieutenant, first lieutenant that became inexperienced because of our campaign. He has a medium machine gun that is inexperienced because of our campaign. A medium howitzer, then his half track, and then his Panzer III. It's a light tank with a medium anti-tank gun, and then a truck. So that's the Germans, a little bit banged up. Going into this scenario, we're playing secret mission, and I kind of told Alan right in the beginning, I'm not going to be overly aggressive about trying to win it, because winning the scenario actually gets you 250 battle points, and we're keeping track of all our battle points throughout the entire scenario. So we roll up sides, and he chooses that side. He won the roll, and we start placing our mortar or observers and spotters and snipers, and I put a howitzer spotter in this tree over here, and then I put my mortar spotter on the far left over there, and then I put my artillery observer in the bottom floor of that house. So, you know, with the secret mission, the scenario, the plans are in that set of crates there right in the middle. Going over the train real quick, we got 2 wheat fields, a couple houses, a destroyed house, we have forest, we got some rock walls there, and then it's almost all shrubs and hedgery around the middle there, and that middle is a muddy field. Muddy field doesn't provide any cover whatsoever, but it's rough ground, and so no run. So it could be a little bit tough to get to the plans. My plan originally was to drive my Buffalo right into the middle and disgorge the troops and use it as a cover and then run the thing back. But again, I don't want all my stuff to get destroyed, because in this campaign you take negative effects if you get destroyed, and I'm quite a bit in the advantage, so I'm going to leave it to Alan to, I'm still tempted to go for it, just get the win, but okay, so we've been pulling some stuff there. I've got an anti-tank rifle team behind the wall. Alan moves his truck in. It's got a regular squad in it. I'm a little bit, you know, Alan took the truck. He has a truck, and then he drives the truck the same distance that infantry can run. And for some reason he decides to just gorge the troops out of there into the bottom of that building. They could have pretty much ran there on their own, so he didn't really take advantage of a truck movement. But these guys run in from the side. See, they're about the same distance, but that's okay. Something must have changed in his mind at the time. I'm failing almost all of my checks to bring stuff on. I'm having a horrible time. I've been I failed to get my truck with some troops in it. Failed to get my buffalo in for this whole first turn. And what I'm doing right now is I had not noticed Alan had rolled for his tank the very second thing that he did. I mean, I noticed it, but I totally forgot. So I am thinking in my head I have to stall until I know where his tank is, because I don't want to bring in a buffalo or a truck or my tank and have it get blasted by his tank with a high roll. Not a whole lot of cover in the middle of this board. So I run a infantry squad into the bottom of this building. You can see my mortars on the top left there. That's fine. That's pretty much all I have in right now. He brings his half track in, and they have the Waffen SS in there. And then it's one of those things where, you know, you play a game and you can't get any of your stuff on the board. It does kind of start to change what you're thinking. But again, here's my tank, and at this point in my mind, I think he still has his Panzer III that he can bring in. So I bring it in very cautiously and park it behind his stone wall. His tank is better than my tank. His tank has 8-up armor and a medium anti-tank gun. I have 7 armor and a light anti-tank gun. I will lose the battle all day long eventually. So I bring it in very cautiously, and I fire some machine guns at some stuff that need like 7s to hit. But again, I wasn't paying attention. His tank had already activated, and then I went on quite the discussion about that. So turn 2, Alan actually keeps his tank all the way till the end of the turn. And I think that is the smart way to run a tank, especially if your tank is better than the other guy's tank, because moving in from the table edge and getting a shot gives you a mobility advantage of getting a line of fire of about 6 feet long. So he did a much better job turn 2 of holding his tank to come in a decent place. So here's my artillery. I brought my artillery barrage down on these guys, and like I said, he's got 2 units of shirkers. One is inexperienced. I hit the truck with a 6, so that dies. Heavy howitzer against the truck. But the other guys have a bunch of pins on them, 3 each. So here's his half track. It moves up there towards the top. I was a little surprised he brought the half track so far away. I could see him going for the house. I get that, but I kind of thought it would drive in and go over some stuff and try to get to the objective, but it's not in a bad spot because it's moving in. It's going to be able to take one of the houses that cover the field of fire over the top of the barrels. But he just fires some machine guns off the thing at my observer. He brings this squad in here. They come running in the back, or advancing I should say. Then they fire at my sniper, who had shot his shirker squad in the bottom of that house. And he needs 7s. Not even everybody's in range. So it might have been a little more advantageous to run those guys to a better position, but there's not a whole lot of cover that's not being held by something else. So yeah, he just shot him. So here comes my truck. I finally got something to come on the board here. And my truck comes in, and it nestles up against the side of that house. It has a regular tough fighter squad in there from my campaign upgrade. He's got his medium machine gun that he kind of fires there, but I have my observer. So basically, he's free. Doesn't cost me any points. He already fired off his artillery, so he moves up there behind the hedge, and he's basically just going to bait out some shots. And if he can, he will try to get to the objective and run it off. I was leaving that spot open there for my buffalo, but I failed to get it in again, containing a commando and an inexperienced squad and my lieutenant. So I decided to just take that nice piece of terrain for my howitzer. I bring my light howitzer in there behind the hedge. I move my anti-tank rifle team into the little woods there. And then Alan, this squad here in the wheat field, I have to mention, they've got 2 pins on them. Or 3 pins on them. They are shirkers. They are regular shirkers. So he is testing on snake eyes to activate them. He proceeds to try to roll snake eyes for 5 turns straight. I mentioned it to him about turn 5 which was a little too late at that point. And it's one of those rules that nobody hardly ever does it, and you forget about. Is if you leave a squad in the down position, they will remove a pin. That probably would have been the safer bet. He didn't really want them to do anything. He's trying to just clear that shirker off there so they don't get a negative effect from our campaign. But it would have been a little better for him, I think, if he would have just stayed down. Okay, he did bring his tank in, and he shot at my truck, and he needed a 6 up. So now that his tank is on the far left side, I feel a little more confident to be able to do stuff in the middle. I advance my tank up. I am making it visible to the howitzer. I would much rather have him shoot my tank than my Amtrak, which I'm still thinking at any moment is going to burst onto the side of the board, come flying into the middle, and then I have infantry squads positioned above and to the side in that house. I'm thinking, let the howitzer shoot my tank. He needed a 5 up to hit my tank, and he missed. And in the meantime, the tank can just spray machine gun rounds all over the place. So, move my infantry squad out there, and I fire at his Waffen SS, who had moved in the other window of that building, and needing a lot to hit them. I do think I maybe scored get a pin on him, but I don't remember. My Jeep, I activate a Jeep, finding something comes in turn 3, so a Jeep comes in and I hit that thing with a heavy machine gun, and I'm able to actually kill it. I fire a smoke round down this way. I don't fire a whole lot of smoke. I figure give it a shot, needing a 6 to hit, misses, so it drifts off. But I thought, if I could block that tank off with smoke, I would do it. Now he is, at this moment, obsessed from this point forward to kill that squad. Alan hasn't killed a whole lot of stuff, so maybe that has something to do with it, but it moves these guys, advances them, and they are standing in the wide open grass just to put, like, needing 7s to hit on that infantry squad, maybe 6s, but I think 7s. No, probably 7s. So I think he does get lucky and score a hit, and I take a pin. My anti-tank rifle team just moves to, in case that tank decides to come around this way, they're at least in a position to put some pins on it, maybe knock it out, because it's only got an 8 up armor. And then I've got my whole plan at this point with turn 3 and my Buffalo not coming in is pretty much I'm going to play defensively, because then he gets really aggressive with his SS. They come advancing out of the window, and they're going to be firing point blank at my guys there behind the shrub, and I'm down at this point already. So I take another pin, and I think I lose a guy, but not a whole lot of damage. Truck goes out and bails out. Again, like I said, I totally forgot that I paid for the heavy machine gun upgrade on the top of it. My observer moves there towards the barrels. He's not enough to get behind him and not enough to get to him. His sniper was in ambush, activates and kills him dead. That's alright with me. It's kind of funny in a sick way, but it's just something I was really, just take a shot if I could get there. He's got lots of pins on his units, and he's only got 2 viable units at this time, and if they're shooting at my observer who's trying to get the plan, they're not putting the heat on my squad over there who's starting to get shot up by his entire army. And so I lose another guy there, and he's firing everything he has that can draw a line of fire to that squad, including this tank. He called a shot on those guys, needing a 7. I said, man, you okay? And I said, I got a Jeep right there, which needs a 6, so he decides to change fire to the Jeep. He didn't even move, didn't come closer. He could have advanced and probably got some machine guns in play on that pretty soon. But he just stayed right there and fired, needing a 7, not moving. He is inexperienced, so that does make it a little harder for his tank because of his penalty that he got from dying before. But at this point, it's turn 3, about ready to go into turn 4, and all I want to do is preserve my squad. I want to try to activate them and get them into some protection. But it's almost impossible, is that whenever Alan gets an order dice, he makes a priority to shoot at them. And since I only have 3 guys left, I go down and then repeat the thing. But they are staying alive, and they're only behind a bush, so, and they've got guys standing point blank away from them. I do have, squads I don't have a whole lot of my squads in position to punish him for moving his guys into no cover whatsoever. But so I go ahead and activate my tank. I'm still keeping my front arc to the howitzer. The tank can't see me from there. I go ahead and hit the Waffen SS with some machine guns. Since I moved, he doesn't get any cover from my turret medium machine gun. He does get the bush from probably my hull mounts because they're tracking across there. I'm able to take a couple guys off. I'm actually able to kill the NCO as well, but then we forget all about that because that's what happens when you don't put a token down, which is why I always try to put a token down. Yeah, and my squad up there, he has, what critically hit that squad, it doesn't have any. It's just 3 riflemen. Killed the NCO, he killed the light machine gun and whatnot. So I'm already like -4 to my checks with that squad. And my lieutenant is still off the board, so I probably should take my own advice there. Maybe just left those guys down for a turn or two. But I didn't because they kind of need to move. If I can pass, I will run away. If they fail, I just go down. So he advances these guys up here. Very bold, very brave. They come in. They've got 2 Panzerfaust. They fire their rifles at the squad, the victim squad over there. He doesn't do anything there. And then he fires his Panzerfaust. He needs a 6 to hit, long range shaped charge. He may have had a pin on him still. And then he rolls a 6. He gets 1 to hit, and then he rolls a 1 on the damage chart. He penetrated it, and then he rolled a 1. And in hindsight, now that I'm thinking about it, is I don't remember what he rolled for his penetration roll. And if it was over 3 over my armor, he should have been able to roll on the chart twice. I just thought of that just now, but I don't remember what he rolled. He was fortunate to get the hit and needing a 6, but it's worth a shot, I guess, other than the fact that you're totally throwing your guys under the bus to destroy the tank. And they were standing right in front of a howitzer with basically a bush in between them at short range, so not a good place to be if you're an infantryman. He advances his sniper. He wants to bring that, I guess, around the forest. You couldn't track line of sight to my mangled squad. I have a Jeep back there in the wheat field, and it's just coming to try to provide some cover for that poor squad. He does get a pin on those guys in the wheat field, or the mud. Hey, I decide I'm not bothering anymore with my buffalo, and I am going to walk my stuff in. So my commandos activate, they pass, and they're able to come in. I advance them because I'm going to shoot mainly. All I'm really doing is keeping his SS from walking out of the window on the left side of that building and killing my guys at point blank, or assaulting them. Not keeping him from doing it, but just trying to discourage him from doing it, because they're in the bottom there. His lieutenant goes insane and runs out, and he fires his 2 submachine guns at that squad. He kills a guy, but he has left himself in a very exposed position now. Right in front of a tank. I have a squad on the top of that building, and not a lot of cover for him at that position. Guess he's feeling very brave. I point that out to Alan, by the way. But yeah, so he's still got like 3 of his SS guys left alive, and they're basically the biggest thing. He didn't want to charge me into close combat because I would have been defending that obstacle, the shrub obstacle, and I am a tough fighter, even though I'm a regular. So, and he didn't want to cut all the pins off me, but he hasn't been able to kill me, so I think he's getting a little frustrated. My commandos, I brought him in there just to keep him from coming out of the window and standing there shooting me. Make him pay for it if he does. But his tank actually finally started coming towards the middle, and it had fired at my tank. He was able to see my tank, and he missed, needing a 6, I believe. So my tank is taking on his entire army, basically. And I light tank. Howitzer, of course, fires. Needing a 5, misses. His lieutenant, he decides better part of valor is staying alive, and he advances him around the corner. So I still haven't been able to get that squad out of there. So I move my Jeep up there to threaten the howitzer. He activates his medium machine gun and he kills my Jeep. So that was kind of a waste. But then I decided, well, I better. I have a vengeance check. I finally remember my army special rule. I totally forgot my army special rule. Vengeance. I've had enemies within 12 for a long time for that infantry squad and for other people. So the infantry squad, bring my buffalo in there, and it's got a 2 medium machine guns, light autocannon. It just fires at the SS. I'm just trying to put some pins on them. Not really expecting to hit. The light autocannon, if it hit, would have been alright, but it's crewed by inexperienced unit right at the moment, so it's shooting at -1 plus the movement plus the building. So, and I've got see my tank there. I'm able to clear a vengeance pin off of that, and I go ahead and I back it up here. Now his tank can't see me, and his howitzer is a 6-up because it could just see the corner of my track there, and that's alright. So I just fire some machine guns, firing machine guns all over the place, and he's down there with that unit. And then I've got I fire a couple machine guns over at that one, and I think I'm able to put a pin on the one there. So again, you notice his one squad is in the wheat field. They're still just sitting there the entire time. I fire my mortar at the tank here, and I'm actually I get a 6. I did it actually on turn 4. I hit it, put 3 pins on it, and starting turn 5, I had mentioned it to him a couple times that he should try to activate it, and it would back up 6 inches and break my 2-up. And he got distracted doing his other things. He put more priority, and I went ahead and made that shot on a 2-up, and I was actually able to kill it. Put a bunch more pins on it, rolled it on fire, and it failed because it's minus a lot. So now I just didn't have to move my tank turn 5, and I yeah, I think losing track of my own game here, but the inexperienced squad, they come out of the buffalo there, and yeah, we've got this is just all my inexperienced guys. I think firing at that building, needing 7s to hit. He fires his SS. He's been holding them, and he fires them at the Jeep that I had drove up there to shoot at his sniper. Oh, I totally missed that. Yeah, because his sniper came even closer, and my tank or my Jeep kind of distracted, and I killed that sniper with my Bren gun in the top floor of that house. So at the end of the turn, I had run my commandos up there. I pulled the first dice. I run my commandos in there, and they killed the SS. Probably would have been a little better for the SS if they would have moved out of there instead of killing that Jeep, but now they are deceased. This squad here goes down, I think by 1. He failed his activation check. He was hoping to finish off that squad. No, actually he got a fire order off. And then I go down. I have to go down to try to preserve the unit, so yeah, he got a fire order off because he's standing up, he's not down. So I'm going to be hitting him with my medium machine guns on like 4 because he's not down, and I've got 12 medium machine guns, and I actually roll really well, even needing 4s, and I kill a bunch of guys. He fails his check, and they're destroyed. So yeah, now that the tank didn't have to move that turn, it's able to do a lot of damage. So now, you know, it's turn 6. It's kind of cleanup time now. His 2 threat squads, the SS and the one that was regular with not a lot of pins. These other 2 units are shirkers. One's way out of position. One is laying in the mud, just trying to dig a hole to stay out of harm's way. He has a lieutenant on the right side of that top house, and that's actually the only thing I'm worried about, because I do not want to lose my unit. I know I can't get the plans off in 1 turn. So I started playing a little bit defensively here to put my guys in positions to keep his lieutenant from doing something crazy, and move my inexperienced squad up there. We actually roll up a turn 7 in this game, and don't really do much other than I failed to get my guys to go again, even with the lieutenant close by. But so I spend the rest of my turn moving my guys around and putting a lot of them on ambush. I do hide my tank from his howitzer because I don't even want, at this point, I don't have any infantry to distract him from, or any thought that I'm gonna run infantry out there. So I move it back and I just kind of shoot those guys with some machine guns. I messed with my howitzer leading like 4s, and so that infantry squad, he did go down, so I would make it a 5. But so that squad actually does survive because I don't spend. I have a lot of other shooting I could have shot at it. Squad on the top floor and some other things, and even the commandos. But I decided to just play it safe. I kind of put a bunch of stuff on Overwatch, and I just protect my squad. So I traded my squad for squad. Yeah, it was an interesting game. We were both very cautious. My whole plan was thrown out of whack because the Buffalo didn't come in until like turn 5. I mean, after the infantry started to walk in. So here's some snapshots of our battle. Campaign-wise, I did fared pretty well. I scored his tank, his sniper, SS squad, an infantry squad, and maybe some of the truck and some other miscellaneous. All he killed again was 2 jeeps, which they die every battle. I use them as a lot like chaff, and then I lost a sniper who got killed by the SS. That not too bad. Nobody got the bonus 250. So yeah, here's the objective in the middle. You can see that truck along the side there. All of his stuff comes in over there. Here's his tank. That's the shot he took. He brought this tank way in over here. I'd also put my tank, I think, on Overwatch turn 2, so it kind of prompted him to come in there. Here's his infantry after the artillery bombardment coming towards the thing there. That shirker rule, that's brutal, that's rough. If I ever decided to take a shirker squad, I can see why I would not want to do that. There's his howitzer plugging away at 5 up the entire game, basically. There's his SS. They came out to try to finish off those Brits, and I prevailed by not dying. There's his tank when it moves over to get a shot on my tank, needing a 6 there. He got a turn to kill me, but to no avail. My mighty heavy mortar was able to knock that tank out of action. And that's where, he got hit. He's got 4 pins on him there at that point. Here's just my howitzer trying to blast. You can see that infantry, just poor guys, but I was unable to hit with my howitzer, so they were able to survive. And then here's my commandos finally coming in towards the end of the game, rushing towards his SS to get into hand-to-hand combat. It's just a random picture from the right-hand side. My mighty tank got hit by 2 Panzerfaust, well, hit by 1 Panzerfaust and survived. I was able to clear the pins off with vengeance and get back into action. And there's my armored car jeep right before it blows up. And it's just his infantry. Basically, for a lot of the game, we're on the edge of this mud field. Not a great place to be, and these guys never really got in the game. So, if you like this battle report, please let me know. Again, the full version is going to be under the full version battle report, same number. Breaks it down turn by turn, shows every interesting role and every non-interesting moment. Several comments through the game and our table talk. So you can skip through that, watch the whole thing in entirety. If you like my videos, please subscribe. You can also check out our Facebook page, Nebraska Bolt Action Eastern Nebraska. Thanks for watching. Have a great time. You have the next one up pretty soon.